Black Sabbath's final show was on February 4, 2017 in Birmingham, England, a show iconic enough and with great enough reason to be filmed for a concert video. That's what the end of the end is. Only 1,500 theaters worldwide showed the movie for one night, and I happened to catch it. There was only one theater in North Carolina showing it, the Silver Spot Theater in Chapel Hill, of all places. The movie starts backstage with the band as they walk to the stage. They talk about their beginnings in Birmingham and how the final show was a big highlight in their career. Black Sabbath takes the stage with Black Sabbath, and myself and a couple of other people in the theater start singing along with it. How this movie is formatted is, you get the show like advertised, but in between songs you see interviews with Tony, Ozzy, and Geezer about different aspects of their career, especially towards the end. You also see the band a few days later jamming in a studio together. They were playing for themselves and catching up after a long tour. It was a simple setup while they played songs from the early 70s. Even this sounded better and more natural than the compressed sound on 13. With the interview stuff, you get their take on Tony Iommi's Lymphoma, 13 becoming a #1 album in a lot of countries, and the absence of Bill Ward, which I think was handled with class. They said it would have been nice if he joined us on the album, tour, or even just the last 2 shows, but that unfortunately didn't happen. Some may have been overzealously disappointed in his absence, but honestly 3 of the original members were present. If Bill couldn't join, for contractual reasons, health reasons, whatever it actually was, then this was as good as it was going to get. Truthfully, I like the Dio, Gillan, and Martin eras a lot, and think that some of their best albums happened after the original lineup, so a slight lineup difference in the band never bothered me. But back to the interviews. For whatever reason, we get Ozzy's story on quitting smoking. The nicotine patch didn't work for him, and he just quit cold turkey. I'm not sure why this was important information, but it's Ozzy. I can hear him talk all day. Speaking of Ozzy, there's a rather hilarious segment where the band is jamming in the studio. Ozzy starts playing the harmonica for The Wizard, only to freak out in classic Ozzy fashion about his headphones not being plugged in. Blah, 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 bloody fucking headphones, mate. For a live show, the sound quality was truly awesome. You can hear everything with lots of power and separation. Even the bass could be heard well. I was a little worried that they were going to use a bit of auto-tune on Ozzy's voice, given his rough sound on stage for the past while. I mean, the man's been singing for decades. However, I could still hear some voice imperfections, and he still sounded great for his age. In fact, he probably sounded better than when I saw them in 2013. The picture quality is also superb. Everything looks crisp and at high resolution at all times. There are parts where 3 different camera angles are in the same frame, and that just looks really cool. Plus, you have songs like War Pigs where the screen footage of the bombings overlap the band footage. I could even see the dirt under Tony's fingernails. Close-ups of his hand during the solos made all the guitarists in the theater happy, and everybody in the band seemed to get equal screen time. A couple of people in the show's audience were crying. Given that it would be the last time they would see the legendary Black Sabbath, I would say that their reaction was warranted. As for the setlist, it's classic Sabbath up to technical ecstasy, totally ignoring anything from Sabotage and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, but I'll cover that later. They didn't even play anything from 13, I was shocked. Now, to me the negative aspect of the movie is the editing. I'm cynical when it comes to concert films because it's hard to find ones that are edited okay. I see them all the time with cheesy effects over them or with a new camera angle every 3 seconds, and with this movie the concert footage seems to be edited okay, even if they're quick. However, the interview segments going over the concert footage while the songs are still playing is frustrating. Sometimes it's just audio of the band talking while you can still see the gig in Birmingham, and other times you can hear the concert in the background with the interview stuff going on screen. I like concert footage being uncompromised, especially since this is advertised as the final word from the greatest heavy metal band. The show itself should have been left untouched. Leave your interview stuff between the songs. Worst of all, a couple of songs were cut out until after the movie was finished. Before the movie even started, the screen said there would be extra interview and concert footage after the movie was over. The interviews are stories that die-hard Sabbath fans likely know, such as the one about the satanic cult showing up outside their hotel room, only to have Ozzy blow out their candles and start singing Happy Birthday. But guess what? Only after the damn credits do we get to see Behind the Wall of Sleep, NIB, and Dirty Women from the same concert. And they still cut 3 songs from the movie. Give me any reason why the entire concert wasn't shown before the credits. The interview and studio stuff is cool, but get 100% of the show in there before you mess with the bonus stuff. I mean, if you're gonna make a concert film as monumental as this, then go to full mile. Those are my issues with the movie itself, but the promotion for this movie was terrible. This movie showed on a Thursday, a weeknight, and only 1,500 theaters. What were they thinking? There might have been 30 people in that theater with me. I'm sure in bigger cities they may have had larger audiences, but I've talked to so many people about this movie. Hey, are you going to see the Black Sabbath movie? Whoa, wait, what's going on with Black Sabbath? Okay, if Black Sabbath is theatrically releasing a movie, then it should not be a word-of-mouth event. I even saw on social media that they were giving away free tickets for this, probably because they desperately wanted to get people to go. Talk about piss-poor advertising. Aside from some frustrating editing choices and crappy promotion, I walked away feeling great. Black Sabbath came full circle and ended their careers where it began. It was energizing, heavy, fun, and nostalgic in a way. I've been listening to this band since I was a kid, and I love every era. As I'm still trying to get over that they're not together anymore, this at least ends things on a positive note. Go take a look.